Good morning, everyone. In the previous session of consumer behavior, in the second unit, I was explaining about the dynamics of motivation. So, in the previous session, I explained all the points except one point. So, first of all, in this session, I am going to explain the last point of dynamics of motivation, and then I will start a new topic which is called motivating consumers. Okay, so let's begin the session. So in the dynamic of motivation, the last point was arousal of motive. So the individual, so what is arousal of motive? Usually what happens, an individual's specific set of needs or some of the needs remain dormant all the time or most of the time. It needs to be aroused. We have to uh, feel that we need some kind of products or services in our life. So these motives are aroused, uh, are these motives are aroused either because of some of the internal stimuli or external stimuli. External stimuli means when we come across an advertisement or we come across some kind of information regarding a product or services, then we feel that we need to have that product in our life. So our needs and motives are aroused because of some of the external stimuli when we come across some new things or new information or any kind of other related information regarding the product. So after that, we feel the need of consuming the product or purchasing the product. Another type of arousal of motive is internal stimuli. So some of the arousals are caused by internal stimuli also. When at a particular time we feel that a particular set of needs are necessary for us, it is extremely necessary, it motivates us to purchase some kind of product. For example, when we get emotional during some of the festive season, we start missing our families and friends. We call them, we contact them, and those kind of things happen during a particular time period. So that is the arousal. So because of some internal stimuli, whether it is physical, emotional, or cognitive, we feel the requirement of purchasing a product. Okay, so the first type of arousal is physical or physiological arousal. So our body gives a certain kind of signal regarding our requirement, regarding the health of our body. For example, when you are under stress, when you're working for many hours uh, in front of a laptop, in front of a monitor, or you're studying for so many hours, you get a headache. So that headache tells you that your body is not normal at this particular point of time, and you need to take rest, or you need to consume some kind of medicine, or you need to consult a doctor before consuming the medicine. That is the physical requirement of our body. So because of some of the physical changes within our body tells us that we need to go through certain kind of medication or medicines, or we need to go and see a doctor so that we can get rid of our pain or our any kind of physical problem. So that is the physical arousal. For example, a drop in sugar level. When the sugar level of the blood decreases, body gives us symptoms like sweating, excessive sweating, or shivering. So that tells us that we need to consume sugar at this particular point of time. So the requirement of sugar may not be important for us through a very long time or in the entire day. We didn't feel to consume a sugar, uh, a certain quantity of sugar. But after a decrease in sugar level in the blood, then we will feel the requirement of consuming sugar. Like that, when we have a stomach ache, when we have headache, or we have pain in shoulder or neck, we come to a conclusion that our body is not fit at this particular point of time, and we need certain kind of medication or medicines during this time. So the requirement of medicines, the requirement of going out and visiting a doctor is because of some kind of physical changes or physical conditions, which is called physiological arousal. Okay, the next one is emotional arousal. So what happens when we get frustrated after trying a lot of time but couldn't achieve our goal, or we are unable to fulfill a task because of some kind of deficiency or some kind of limitations. So it leads to frustration, irritation. We get angry all the time because we are not able to complete our task within a particular time. So what happens with this frustration and irritation? We go through, to some people, daydream during that time. We are not able to achieve success in our life. So it is better to go for daydreaming, where we assume ourselves to be in the perfect situation, where our world is perfect, where everything is perfect, we do not need anything. So we go to such kind of thinking, and in order to make ourselves feel better, we purchase many things which gives us some kind of emotional support. Some people would like to eat when they are depressed or when they are unhappy, because that consumption of food makes them feel better. Or some people go out, go to a park, go to a shopping mall, they go for shopping because they are not feeling emotionally balanced during a particular point of time. So those kind of emotional changes and emotional situation makes us feel that we require some products or services. Some people go to spas to get relaxed and all that. So that happens because of emotional changes. So emotional arousal also leads to purchase of many products, or it leads to, it motivates a consumer to use various types of services. And the last one is cognitive arousal. So cognitive arousal basically says that random thoughts, some kind of random thoughts can make us feel that we need certain kind of product. Either the random thoughts uh, aroused within ourselves, or we came across certain kinds of advertisements of promotion and we felt the need of a particular product. Like the advertisements, many of the advertisements related to a telecommunication sector, like Airtel, Reliance Jio, or BSNL, or Vodafone, they advertise their packages, different types of packages, by showing that to what extent you need internet in your life, to what extent you need to be in touch with your family members and your friends. So in order to be in a regular touch with your family, friends, and your family members, you need to have certain kind of packages so that you can go for video call, you can talk for unlimited hours with your friends, with your mother, with your sister, all those things. So when we come across such kind of advertisement, we start missing our family members, we start missing our friends. So immediately we pick up our phone and make a video call or call our friends and family members. So that is called cognitive arousal. A simple random thought that came into our mind by watching some kind of advertisement or hearing some kind of like promotion or some kind of other things, or watching a billboard. When we are traveling or something, we saw a billboard and that reminded us about our family members, and we suddenly felt the urge of talking to our family members, because that kind of advertisement make aroused us to a motive that we need to make a call to our mother or our sister or our family members. So such kind of promotions and advertisement leads to cognitive arousal. So at that point of time we feel that we need to talk to our family members, and if we do not have proper balance, it is our requirement to recharge our phone with that particular uh, internet pack or unlimited call pack. So that is called cognitive arousal, making ourselves feel a particular product is required by us because of some kind of random thoughts. So this is the last point of dynamics of motivation. The next topic which I am going to explain today is motivating consumers. So how to motivate a consumer to purchase a product? Various companies use various types of methods to encourage the consumers to purchase a particular product. For example, when you get an offer, buy one, get one, you may not require the product. You think that, okay, fine, this is not required. But when you get an offer that is buy one, get one, You feel that I am saving a certain amount of money. This is an offer which is for a limited time period. So let us go and purchase the product. So that is the way of motivating a consumer to purchase a product. And many companies try to motivate consumers by linking the product to the important needs. For example, for example, a particular kind of festival is coming, and you want to purchase some kind of festive dresses. So this situation, this product, the festive apparel or the festive dresses, that usually specially used during the festive season, they want to promote this set of dresses and apparels to the consumers. So what they do, they show the apparels in such a way that you will feel that during the festive season you would like to look different from the normal days. They make you feel that this is very important in the festive season, to be different, to be happy, to wear something Indian. So people go and purchase those types of apparels during the festive season. So a product is related to an important need. So in that way, consumers purchases a product. So some of the ways of used by the organizations, by the companies for motivating consumers are, first of all, motivating them with money, or providing them various types of incentives, implementing a loyalty program, or enhancing perceived risk. And the last one is arousing customers' curiosity, making them more curious. So these are certain, some of the important methods companies use to motivate the consumers. So the first one is motivating people or consumers with money. So it is one of the most important, most powerful and popular practice used by most of the organizations, because everybody would like to save money when they are making some kind of purchases. Even the purchases are made regarding some kind of grocery products, or even if you are purchasing some kind of appliances, consumer durable, everybody likes to save money in each and every purchase. Even if they don't save money, they would like to see and go for various types of offers, whichever offer is preferable in terms of money, they would go and purchase that. So this is considered to be one of the most powerful and popular practice by the companies to motivate the consumers with money. So here usually what happens, how does companies motivate consumers? So many companies provide price cuts, rebates, coupons, or they also go for some kind of other buy one get one offer. So these are the various offers which are provided by the companies. For example, a particular product is around 500 rupees, and and for some limited time period, the price is decreased to 300 rupees or 250 rupees, 50% discount, 20% discount. So these types of discounts on the MRP motivates the consumers to go to the shopping mall and purchase those products. And not one or two, but in large quantities also. Like if you purchase 5,000 rupees of products, then you will get certain item for free, or coupon system. So these are certain methods companies use in order to motivate the consumers. For example, the online websites like Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, Snapdeal, there are various types of online websites which sell products less than the market price. And what we usually pay in the offline, when we purchase through offline mode, we pay more in comparison when we purchase through online mode. For example, a smartphone is around 15,000 when you go to a shop and purchase it, but in Amazon it is around 10,000 or 11,000. So you save a large amount of money which can be used for any other purpose. So those kind of offers are very much useful to motivate the consumers. That's why many of the people go for Amazon, Myntra and Flipkart. They purchase many things from that, whether it is apparels or any kind of accessory, electronic, consumer durable goods. They get a heavy discount from those kinds of websites. So consumers, it motivates them to buy from those sites because they save a large amount of money in each and every purchase. And there is also a benefit that the product is going to come to home, so they don't have to spend money to go and visit to a shop. So in that area also certain amount of money is saved, so people go for such kind of offers. But usually what happens, increase in sales not always means that there is a increase in profit. And the customers, the consumers who always go for products at lower price, it means that those kind of customers are not loyal at all. If in Amazon a particular product is 7,000 and the same product is around 5,000 in Flipkart, so even if a consumer has purchased many items from Amazon, the person is going to purchase the same product from Flipkart because it is some amount of money lesser than Amazon, what Amazon is offering. So people, those consumers who always go for product with lower price, when they keep on comparing the same product available in various websites or available in various shops, they always go and purchase from those shop or those website where the price is less. So those kind of customers are not very loyal. They are simply going to switch to another shop or another brand or another website whenever they get a better offer. So increase of sales does not mean increase in profit. And because there is tough competition, other companies are also going to provide discounts and other things. There are chances that companies would lose consumers when other companies come up with better offer. Okay, so this is the first method, first way of motivating consumers from with money. Okay, the next one is providing other incentives. So companies also provide premiums to motivate consumers. Premiums means when you get when you get one product when you purchase another product. For example, many companies, suppose you purchased a product, some kind of cream. You, for example, you purchased Fair and Lovely, and with Fair and Lovely face cream you got Fair and Lovely face wash also. So what happens, with the same amount of price you get two products. So that is one kind of offer. With one product, with purchase of one product, you will get another product either for completely free, you don't have to pay any amount, or you have to pay only 50% for the another product. For example, if Fair and Lovely face cream is around 200 rupees, you will get another face wash free with it, which is around 100 rupees, and you only have to pay 350 rupees, sorry, 250 rupees. So the price is less, you're getting two products at a lesser price, but only this offer is only for a limited time period. So what happens, people consume the product, purchase the product in large quantity, and many people get attracted to some these kind of offers because it is made for a limited time period, and the sales increases where more and more number of people purchase this product. So these kind of incentives are also provided by many companies. Okay, they can also create contests. You purchase our product, you will get a number, and there will be a lucky draw, so that at certain point in future, if you win, if your number comes out, you will get a prize. So these kind of contests are also used by many companies to increase the sales. And here also the problem is same, that it increase in sale may not always increase the profit, because when a product is given completely free or at a lesser price, it has some effect on the profit of the organization. And there is another tendency in consumers, that when a company gives a particular product for free or for lesser price, people think that this product may not have that kind of quality, may not be of higher standard, so they reject those products. Instead of purchasing, they reject those products. Why the company is selling this product at such a lower price, why it is given for free with another product, there may be some problem with the quality, this product may not be popular. So that kind of thinking also arises when some other products are given in form of incentives. Okay, so this is also another method used by the consumers to motivate, used by the organizations to motivate the consumers. Okay, the next one is implementing a loyalty program. So loyalty program, this kind of program are used by banks. You must be getting so many calls and messages from your banks that if you use your debit card or you use your credit card, or if you use the banking of app of the particular bank, then you will get loyalty points, and the loyalty points can be converted into money, and when making purchases you will get that much amount of discount. So this is one of the method which is created by the companies in order to make the consumers loyal for a very long time. So if by using a debit card instead of paying cash, you will get certain more benefit. So obviously people will keep on using debit card. So that is one of the advantage. And this reward and loyalty will make consumers to use their debit or credit card in more and more times instead of using cash. So there will be cashless transaction. So this loyalty point is also used by many shopping malls or many companies, so that when you purchase more from a particular brand, from a particular brand or any kind of shop of a particular brand, then the loyalty point will keep on adding, and after certain point it will be converted into a cash, and when you will make your next purchase, that cash amount will be deducted from your bill. So those kind of facilities are also provided by the companies, by the manufacturers or any kind of banks or shopping outlets, so that it will increase the total amount of consumers, total number of consumers, and the amount of purchase they make. So because of this loyalty point, the consumer will purchase again and again from the same shop, or keep on using the same debit card while making purchase. So that will increase the popularity of the brand, that will increase the number of customers of the company. So because the company want their consumers to be loyal, to be busy in repeat buying, so this kind of method is also implemented by many of the companies and organizations. So after this, there are another 2 points which are used by the companies, and the next one is, the fourth point is enhancing perceived risk. So how come risk can be used to motivate consumers to purchase? For example, when you see advertisement of any kind of cooking oil, what is the main focus point? They show as if you purchase a low quality, less priced oil, it will lead to various kinds of risk. Like it is not good for health, it will increase the cholesterol level, it is not good for diabetes. There may be chances that it may cause many other problems in your body if you consume a lower quality, lesser priced cooking oil. So that comparison is shown in the advertisement, and many companies sell their products by showing the risk of the products, or products of the same kind produced by other companies. For example, Saffola, they always focused on one fact, that their oil is good for heart. It won't lead to increase in cholesterol. It won't lead to increase in heart problems. So they say that consuming cooking oil will lead to certain kinds of risk, but consumption of Saffola cooking oil will reduce that kind of perceived risk. Now, this risk depends upon the beliefs of a consumer. Beliefs in what sense? That as a consumer, what we believe, that the consequence of consuming a product. If you consume fast food on a regular basis, it is going to have negative effect on your health. If you're using products with very extremely cheap quality, even if you use a shoe which is extremely cheap, it won't be comfortable for your foot. It will lead many kinds of problem, rashes and all that. So that is the perceived risk of consuming a product. For example, uh, When we do online transaction, banking transaction, either from laptop or smartphone, there is always a risk that our money can be stolen, our phone can be hacked, our laptop can be hacked. So this is a perceived risk of a person who is using online banking or apps for transaction. So how this risk can be used by a company? This risk is used by companies who create antivirus, which can provide proper protection to our laptops and other electronic gadgets which are used for making financial transaction. It will keep our data safe. It will protect our laptop and smartphones from being hacked. So this is a perceived risk which is used by a company to motivate a consumer to purchase an antivirus. Same way, like I said, cooking oil, excessive consumption of cooking oil, eating fried food always, it will lead to obesity, it will lead to heart problem. So better switch to our oil, which is healthy, which is has so many kinds of vitamins and all that, so it won't lead to some kind of health hazard. So these kind of enhancing the risk and showing that our product actually will help you to reduce the risk. So what people do when they come across such kind of advertisement and promotion and information, they always decide to make a better choice in selecting a product which can reduce the risk. For example, if you are going on a bike and you won't wear a helmet, it increases the risk of getting hurt while if you get engaged in any kind of accident. But if you wear a helmet, your risk reduces. So that is our perceived risk. So we get motivated to go out and purchase a helmet so that we can protect ourselves. So educating consumers regarding certain kind of risk and motivating them to make better choice. Why to purchase a a phone which can be easily hacked? Purchase a phone which is already giving you an inbuilt system which can which can protect the software from being hacked. So these kind of strategies are used by many companies to motivate the consumers by showing the risk element of consumption of a product. Okay, the last one is arousing consumer curiosity. Now information, whenever at this present time, whenever we purchase a product, we always try to find information. Not only information, we always go through various types of reviews given by various people so that we can get a clear picture whether to purchase this product or not. So information also is used by the companies to increase the curiosity of the consumers. So sometimes companies advertise those benefits of a product which are not usually associated with a product. For example, spices. Spices from generations, we have seen the advertisement and they have focused only one point, that it makes your food more delicious in comparison to other spices available. It makes your food delicious. It makes it look better. So these are the things which were used in the promotion of spices. But Tata Sampann has said that our spices are better than the other spices because we contain the natural oils of those spices which we use. So they showed another side, that is healthier side. So spices are not only, they don't only make foods delicious, but they also make you healthy if you consume spices with their natural oils. So that kind of benefit is not normally associated with spices, but they have associated it. So like that, they advertise, increase the curiosity. Like they have always like Patanjali has said that we do not use any kind of chemicals in our product, for which, because of which our products are healthier. Like the biscuits that they advertise, that we do not use flour, all purpose flour, which is extremely unhealthy. We use the atta flour, which is healthy, which has various types of benefits. So that was their target point, that we are producing goods which are healthy for you, which were not usually associated. Because like for example, when Maggie was introduced, they focused on taste and time, that Maggie can be done within 2 minutes. They did not focus on the healthier side. But but after so many years, they created oats Maggie, wheat Maggie, so that it can little become healthy also. So they also advertise focusing on some aspects of the product which were not usually associated with the same product. So arousing curiosity makes a consumer to go out to purchase a product. And this curiosity helps during the time of launching a new product. So increase the curiosity of the consumer, so they would collect more and more information, all the information, detailed information, and then they make a purchase. So arousing consumer curiosity also motivates the consumers to purchase a particular product. Okay, so this is the last point of motivating consumers. In the next session, I am going to explain the theory of motivation, that is the Maslow's theory of motivation, and other aspects of motivation. So that's it for today. We will meet in the next session. Thank you.